Just for the both of you, what's the feeling like of hosting a top 25 team at home?
I'll go first. It's nothing new, man. We just come up just to work and just do what we're supposed to do. We come here to win. We never expect to lose. So just put our best foot forward and focus at the goal at task.
Yeah, shoot, doesn't really matter who's on the schedule, man. Wherever we play, man, we're gonna go out there with our best guys, man. We're gonna go out there and execute, and I mean it's a faceless opponent, man. We're playing ourselves every day, So yeah, we're just ready to go out there and get back at home and win this game.
Yeah, and again, for the both of you, I mean, what's being said amongst teammates through these first few days of practices and sort of regrouping?
Um, like I said, really just focus on the hand at task. Like our coach said, we're not worried about the logo. You feel what I'm saying? Anybody could be beat. So again, people like, Steven and, the rest of my teammates, we just, come in with our heads down, ready to focus, and execute, the installments and the new things we get weekly and just ready to, put on the show for the fans.
Yeah, just really flushing, whatever happened last week. Obviously it was disappointing, but I mean, we can't sit there and hang our heads over it for too long because we got another opponent up here and we got another opportunity. So really just moving on and getting back to work and just continue to chop wood.
What are you guys seeing from Notre Dame on film?
Um, I know. Is it Jordan Love?
Yeah,
Yeah, Jordan Love.
Jeremiah.
Oh, yeah, Jeremiah Love. He's the key guy on offense, and he's one of the best backs in the nation, if not number one. Everything really is. We just gonna try to game plan against him on stopping him because you cut the head of the snake off. The rest to follow. So we just game planning around him, learning his tendencies, learning what the offensive scheme and how they work around and how they use different people in the offense to to hide him or to hide other things that could make other impact players present themselves in the offense and just limiting everything and just trying to be top tier defense.
Yeah, definitely a dynamic backfield, obviously, with Jeremiah Love and gosh, I forgot what his name is, number 24. 4 and number 24. Yeah, definitely really good running backs. Definitely really good quarterback. I mean, obviously it just comes down to game planning, man. I do expect for them to run the ball on us, you know what I mean? And that's just gonna be the challenge at hand, but we never shied away. So we're just gonna go out there with our best foot forward and execute at a high level.
Yeah, and with Love in their run game, what are some tweaks that you guys are thinking that you need to make to maybe be better in that area?
I'm gonna let you answer this one.
I think really it's just populating the football, obviously. Just making sure that we get to the ball, we get there with bad intentions, we're physical at the point of contact, just getting guys on the ground, man. I think that's just the biggest emphasis going far after the day when we finish up the Tuesday practice is just being physical and getting downhill, especially with a offense like this.
Yeah.
Last one for me. Quincy, their head coach gave you a compliment, said that you were a handful. What's kind of your reaction to that?
Uh, I really don't let all that stuff get to me. I just try to show up for these guys and represent my name and the people around me. It's not all about me and it's about my teammates. So I just try to come in, do my job, and execute.
Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, it seemed like you did a better job of getting into the backfield against Memphis, but a lot of times weren't able to make the play. What do you think played into that, and how do you guys do a better job at when you do get in the backfield to make the tackle?
I think a lot of the thing, just like being a pass rusher in general, you just got to be relentless. So, my coach, the coach T. Will, and I have kind of been emphasizing, when you're on the field or money downs or just any passing down, you just got to be a dog. You feel what I'm saying? You got to go in, ears pinned back, just ready to work because, you never know, what situation might bring. You never know what the situation might bring. You may be let free or, you could be on a block and then, you get off the block fast enough and then you in this position to where, you're supposed to hit the quarterback. So it's really just, just being relentless and then just like you said we got to tackle better so just really focusing on that.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what he said, definitely just being relentless and getting back there and finishing plays. We're definitely getting put in the position. We just gotta strain to finish. And I think that'll really turn a lot of the tides in these games we've been playing.
After playing the last couple games, last few games away from Fayetteville, Little Rock, and Memphis, and Oxford, do you think being home will maybe give you guys a little bit extra boost having the home crowd in front of you?
Yes, sir. I think that's what any college game. When you're at home, you're in your environment. The people around you. You got the positive energy and all that great stuff. So I think it kind of be similar to like Tennessee last year.
Yeah. Stephen, this may, I guess, doesn't impact you as much, but Quincy, the schedule was just announced for 2026, and the permanent opponents are LSU, Missouri, Texas. Just your thoughts on I guess Arkansas playing those teams every year, and I know that's looking ahead, but it was just released.
I'm gonna say I haven't seen it, but again, we just come in to work. Like we not worried about the name or whomever it is. Anybody can be beat. So like I said, we just gonna show up and work, and then may the best man win.
Thanks, guys.
Jackson, go ahead.
Hey guys, I want to get both of y'all's opinions on this. Cam Ball said after the game he thought maybe some of the missed tackles were trying to be a little too aggressive. Like, do you agree with that? What have you seen on film, maybe on that regard?
Um, I to some extent, Cam is a great guy. Cam is my teammate, so I'm gonna never go against him. But I think Cam had a point, being somewhat too aggressive because in some situations, you could over pursue a ball and miss a tackle and all that crazy stuff. So I think it's really just slowing the game down mentally, if you get what I'm saying.
I hear you.
I
Steve,
mean,
you got it?
yeah, like if you see some of the clips, maybe we over pursued or, we got there, we just didn't break down because we're like lunging, trying to make a big hit instead of just, making a safe, secure tackle. So, I mean, yeah, he's probably right in some of those regards. And sometimes we might have not came down hard as we should have and fast and physical like we should have. But I mean, yeah. At to his point, like, yeah, there are some plays where we were playing maybe too aggressive.
Gotcha. You both kind of talked about Jeremiah Love, and one thing he loves to do is hurdle defenders. How much has that been kind of talked about? Watching him, and what's that like as a defender when you going up against a running back where coming in he likes to go over the top?
I'm not worried about that. I just come to play ball. If it happens, it happens. On to the next. But at the same time, he still got to play us too. So, every man bleeds. So, he still, he gotta go against us too. So, like, he probably thinking the tendencies that we may bring because we game plan against him and he game plan against us. So, I'm not, I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, it's obviously a testament to his athleticism, 100% respected, So, yeah, he's a good bet. So we just got prepared.
Quincy, David Oakey's kind of played, some snaps against Ole Miss, a little bit more against Memphis. Just what have you seen from him? How nice has it been getting him back in the rotation on the DL?
He's been able to help a lot. He's been able to keep Cam and those guys refreshed when he needs a breather or when they need a breather or whatnot. So he's real twitchy, great head on his shoulders. He comes in to work, not that great stuff. So due to his injuries, he kind of had a slow start of the season. So I'm expecting him to pick it up a little more.
And Stephen, kind of similar question. It looked like Brad Shaw had a pretty good game, on Saturday against Memphis. Sam said maybe got a little fatigued at the end, but how have you seen him coming along through the first 4 weeks of the season?
Now he's definitely been stepping up in his role. I think he's been ready when we've called his number and he goes out and executes. Definitely thinks the sky's the limit for him. He's gonna be a really good player, for the years to come here, man. And I can't wait to see him continue to play this season.
Stephen, you're one of the older guys on the team. Just what's kind of in the message to the locker room, coming from the leadership, from the captains and everything this week, and how confident are you guys that you're close to maybe turning this thing around?
I mean, we're always confident. I mean, it's our preparation that makes us confident. We don't just go out there with our chest puffed out saying we're the, biggest and best. Like it's our preparation that gives us that edge. I think the main message for the most part is just, I mean, flushing with whatever happened. Like, yeah, we're not supposed to go out there and, lose to Memphis, but I mean, it happened. Like, we just got to get over it. We got to move on. We got an opponent coming in here that's, really good, but we're also really good. We just got to reiterate, like, we have the guys in this building to like go and execute and win big games and to win continuously and consistently. We just got to continue to get back to work, man, put the pieces back together and just continue to fight, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah, guys, your thoughts on returning home after 3 games away from Fayetteville, playing in front of the home crowd and playing a program like Notre Dame?
It's so nice being back home. I've always liked traveling, but there's no place like home. So it's going to be a fun opportunity, especially against a top 25 team. And, I'm really excited. I grew up liking Notre Dame, so it's fun to be able to play them.
Raylen.
It's just another opportunity to play football. It's my last season, so it's just another game for me, for us, regardless of the name. So it's just a great opportunity to go play football again.
The offense has had a little bit of a struggle in the last 2 quarters of the last 2 games. I'm wondering what you guys can attribute that to. I know it's probably not just one thing, but how do you get things turned around for this one?
We just got to execute better. We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot with execution. So, it's a team sport. It takes all 11 of us to be successful. So, we just got to execute better in the second half.
I think the big thing, especially for the receiver room, is just being more detailed. I think that's the biggest thing for us. Just the missed assignments, things like that, we can't have. So, like you said, shooting ourselves in the foot, we can't have, especially with a team we're about to play this week. So, we just gotta, play 4 quarters and play full 4 quarters. We come out hot, we gotta finish hot. So, I think that's the biggest thing.
Y'all probably don't know that Chris Ash was defensive coordinator here a long time ago, but he's the coordinator at Notre Dame. What do they like to do defensively? Are they aggressive? They heavy blitz? What do you see out of those guys and anybody that jumps out to you personnel-wise?
I think the biggest thing is they run man. They have a lot of confidence in their defense. They don't blitz as much as the other teams that we've played. But a big man quarter team, they like to match up with whoever. So good defense. They had the freshman All-American. They've talked about a couple injuries, things like that. But from a receiver standpoint, man, we just got to play football, regardless of who's in front of us. And if it's man, it's mano a mano. So just very excited for us to go against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. They play really disciplined. They're really well coached. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. So we got to take advantage of that in some situations and really establish a run game.
Thanks, fellas.
Welcome.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Caden, for you, I mean, was that ever a serious Irish fandom or just more casually?
So my mom's stepdad has, I think it was his sister that taught there. So I wouldn't say my parents are more serious fans. I grew up playing hockey, so football really wasn't my main sport. So that's them. But we grew up liking Notre Dame. So I don't like them this week, that's for sure though.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but I think it was Junior was saying after Ole Miss that you kind of pulled the O linemen together. Did you do something similar again after Memphis, or did somebody else do that?
Yeah. Memphis, it was more tough situation. So I did that in the locker room. I just went up to everybody being like, trying to be supportive, man. Everybody, especially after a loss like that, it's unfortunate, man. So I was just trying to be there for everybody, let them know that, hey, we just got to keep working. Like, we got to trust that we can win out and that we can put this behind us. We can learn from it. So, I tried to be there for everybody, and, I think we had a good practice today. So I want to say it worked.
Yeah, and for both of you guys along those lines, what's kind of being said amongst teammates to kind of keep up the energy and kind of regroup?
Like I said earlier, just being more detailed, going back to the basics, and just being locked in at one play at a time. Don't think about the future, think about things like that. Just play one play at a time. That's all you can do. And so just being detailed and having that energy like all throughout the game. So that's what we're going to need to do.
Yeah, we really emphasized energy finishing out practice today. So the last 2 periods or whatever it was, we were emphasizing being a lot more vocal, a lot more energetic. Like we had people jumping around, screaming, getting everybody going. So, we're trying to simulate that in practice so we can come out and finish a game.
Thanks, guys.
Jackson, go ahead.
Sure. Raylen, with the offense and kind of the receivers, and it seems like Talen's doing a pretty good job of spreading the ball around. Just what are your impressions so far of the passing game? It seems like kind of Trey was saying, it's been really good in the first half, last two games, but kind of fallen off. What do you think of the passing game specifically of what y'all have done so far the first four games?
I think, a lot of us just come to play. I think that's just what it is. And so, like I said, we got to be more detailed in the second half. Not get too up and not get too down. So that's why I said, like, the emphasis this week is just being more detailed, no misassignments, making sure we're on the basics. So, I think the biggest thing for us is making sure we're not lackadaisical at practice, and just making sure we're always having energy, we're always finishing to the end zone, things like that. Just not letting off the gas.
For either of you guys, Rohan Jones lined up at fullback for two plays and scored on both. That first touchdown pass, I mean, was that a play that was working in practice when you were running it? Was it working that well? I mean, did you guys have a feeling that play was going to be successful when you brought it to the game?
Yeah, I think we ran it Monday. We just ran it a different way, and the receiver room was like, "Yeah, this is gonna work." So, we just knew that that play was gonna work. And Rohan himself, he's gonna play ball, man. He's a gamer. So when the ball comes his way, he's gonna do something with it. And so, I think that's everybody in the room as well.
Caden, what have you seen from Rohan? Not a hot start, but contributing and then kind of blows up. I mean, how good was it to see that kind of performance from him on Saturday against Memphis?
It's always good to see the guys that put in work, get the credit that they deserve. I was asked the same thing about Talon and how he's getting some like Heisman credit. So, it's cool to see that. But Rohan, he's been a guy that has put his head down and worked nonstop ever since he got here. Coming in with him and seeing him do that and how he works and, the kind of camaraderie he has with all of the teammates, it's inspiring and it inspires me to be better in both those ways too.
Caden, what have you seen from the guy next to you on the right side, Kobe Branham? Obviously, his first full year, full time starting. How has he kind of progressed through the first 4 weeks?
I always give Kobe crap because he always steps on my feet, so that hurts. But Kobe, he's been great, man. You would not think he's 19 if you met him. Like he's a real mature dude for being a second year. He has a poise to him that he holds, and he plays with a lot of great technique. He plays physical. He plays like a vet, and it's cool to be able to play next to someone like that. Has got a lot of eligibility, so. I'm trying to teach him everything I know about playing in big games so he can be better when the time comes.
I know grading offensive line play can be kind of weird and tough, but I think Pro Football Focus today said that y'all's offensive line is the best pass blocking offensive line in the country so far. I mean, what do you think's been the biggest key for y'all's success as a unit up front?
Practice, honestly, getting a lot of banked reps. Me making the right calls, the right IDs, making sure everybody's on the same page. It's taken a lot of work to get to where we're at, and we're not done by any means. But it's cool to see that stat pay off, and it gives us a little encouragement through the losses. Know that we're doing something good.
Raylan, what have you seen from Mike in practice the past couple of days? What's kind of been the messages in offense trying to pick him up just off what happened on Saturday? Sam said he was pretty down, but how have you guys been trying to pick him up and bounce back from that?
I think the biggest thing, I talked to him after the game and just told him, you gotta talk to God and just ask him the perspective he's given to you. What is he learning? What is he trying to teach you? I think that's the biggest thing. And we went through the last 2 weeks, and I told Talon as well, just see what God's teaching you, what perspective he's trying to give you, and things of that nature. So he's good. He's back to normal. It happens. You got to have short-term memory loss in this game. So he's back to him. He's playing hard. He's practicing hard like he always does. So it was unfortunate what happened, but you got to shake back. We had a long season. You got to go 1-0 each day. So you got to forget about the past and learn from it though at the same time.
Caden said he was grew up kind of a Notre Dame fan. Do you have any, childhood memories of the Notre Dame program or anything like that? No.
Nah, not at all.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
IDBA, wrap it up.
Yeah, just to kind of follow up on what Raylan said, so maybe I'll pivot to Caden, but just when there is kind of a tough fumble at the end, maybe an individual weight on one player, how do you maybe as an athlete, like if you have a tough moment, like what's your process for kind of bouncing back and picking yourself up?
Like Raylan said, you got to have short-term memory in the game we play. So it's always that next play mentality. There were some plays that I had bad plays on Saturday, and that's just how it is. Like that's how football goes. You're going to get beat every now and then. It's just how you can bounce back from those moments. So personally, I recognize that I messed up. Whoever is affected by that play, I go up to him and be like, "Hey, it won't happen again," and then we move on.